All right, y'all. It's your boy back again. Another video. I was gonna do the blackout video, but man, got hit up by the old lady, so she got some time for me. I was like, fuck it, I ain't finna try to do a blackout video. It's already 11:30. I was gonna do the blackout video in like my closet or something, bathroom, cut the light off, whatever. But I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna give y'all no false positive blackouts, so only authentic blackouts. But anyway, so Pelicans open up tonight, and they have them as the favorite to win that. They're like a 4.5 favorite for those of you who care about sports betting and gambling and stuff. And last year, the Pels did not win a game from Toronto. They lost. And I'll say this: they lost Gasol and Serge, which is huge. And they picked up Aaron Baines. I know a lot of Pels fans wanted Aaron Baines, but Aaron Baines is not a rim protector like that. He's a floor spacer. He's more of like a stretch five. And oh, by the way, my son, since it's the middle of the day, he is playing in the other room. He may come and knock, and I might have to pause the video, come back, or he might start making or yelling in the background because he gets hyped playing video games like I do. So just ignore that. I'm sorry for it not being professional. So there he is right now. I don't know if the phone will pick it up, but anyway. So Aaron Baines is their starting center. That interaction and matchup with Steven Adams is going to be interesting. Uh, So I'm just gonna run through the Toronto, just their start five. I'm not gonna get into their bench, and I'm probably not gonna get into most teams' benches when I do these videos to preview the matchup. Because I expect the starters to play the bulk of the minutes 9 times out of 10, and I'll only mention the benches when I think it's relevant. Um, so Toronto is probably gonna roll out Fred VanVleet, um, Kyle Lowry. That's the starting backcourt. OG Ananobi, Pascal Siakam, and Aaron Baines. That's going to be their starting five. Our starting five is Zoe Bledsoe, Bi, Ingram, and Steven Adams. So last year they had tons of length, a defensive presence on the inside in both Serge and Gasol, and it was a pain in the butt to deal with them. We didn't have Zion last year either, and so they really took us out of our game. You know, and this is gonna go back. This is gonna be a recurring thing. I feel like for this year, we do not have front court presence. We do not have that size and versatility that we need to defend. You know, big front courts. Now, with Baines not being the rim protector that those guys is, or the defensive presence that those guys is, I think we'll match up better with them. And again, we didn't have Zion for any of those matchups because we played both of them like within the first month, and Zion obviously didn't come back until January. So they've never seen Zion. So Zion, I'm thinking, is going to have a good game. He's going to power through them, particularly these matchups against um, the forwards, Pascal and OG. I think he's going to dominate. Um, but here's my thing: that what's going to dictate this match to me more than anything else is going to be Lonzo and Bledsoe versus Cal and Fred VanVleet. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm testing Lonzo against uh, of Lowry and Fred like early in the middle of the game. Pick and roll, mid range. I want him cooking early, and I'm gonna tell you why. Obviously, they're going to be expecting Zion and Bi, and for good reason. But Lonzo has a size advantage against both members of their backcourt. If Lonzo can get his shots off and he can make them early, it's going to put them in a messed up position because now Lonzo is going to force the attention of OG or Pascal. And I'm not saying both of them are elite defenders, but they're good enough defenders that they will put them to try to stifle Lonzo. If you're going to do that, that means Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet, particularly, I would hope they can switch or get Fred on to Zoe. Because if that happens and they switch, one of those guys have to guard Zion and Bi. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's going to be a pick your poison death match. None of them are gonna be able to guard Zion, right? So he should have a big game. They can guard Bi. I'm talking about the forwards, OG and Pascal. They can guard him, and it's gonna be a problem. But if you got Lonzo that's cooking, and this is the way, and I'm telling you guys right now, the way the Pelican season is going to be offensively, it's going to basically be a rock paper scissors day. It's going to be two of the three between Bi, Zion, and Zoe have to go get theirs. So this is how I see it playing out. I think Zion is gonna get his. Now it's possible that size that they have will bother him, but he's in shape. They haven't played him. I think that's an advantage for us, even if they have film. So he's gonna give them hell. Steven Adams is gonna beat them up. He's gonna give them hell. But I think what's gonna happen is if Lonzo goes off early in the game, they have to switch. So that means that's one less person that's going to guard Zion or Bi. Let's just assume for a minute that Bi was struggling to get his shots off against those guys. So now you have to put Fred or Lowry on him. Granted, Lowry is a good defender. Fred can't defend him worth a jack damn. And they're too small. So what happens now when you have to put a resource on Lonzo, which means you have to take one away from Bi. If they put Baines on him, Bi's just going to beat him to the rack every time. He's just too fast, too shifty. You won't be able to do anything with him. Then, if you put Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet on him, you just rise up and shoot over him. The Pelicans need Lonzo early because if they wait, it's going to be hard to get that rhythm later on. Get Lonzo going early. Get Zion going early. Make them have to adjust, and either make them have to just pull Fred VanVleet early so that he's less effective for the game, and they can't play him, which takes away from their roster, or just pick your poison. At the end of the day, this game should be a rock, paper, scissors affair for the Pelicans. It should be, okay, Zion is going to get his no matter what, so they're just going to either probably put their weakest defender on him, and then they're going to have to put, their two best defenders on Lonzo and Bi to compensate. So they're like, okay, we can't stop Zion, so just put Fred or Kyle on him. Okay. Now, here's the other part of this. With Zion, I think Zion and Steven Adams are going to wear forwards down, and in the late game, they're going to go to Bi. So you imagine the game's going on. Lonzo is hurting them a little bit. Zion is killing them. Steven Adams is beating them up. They're getting worn down, especially if they start to pick up that pace. If Zoe can keep that pace up pretty high, which I don't think that's how they're going to play. I think they're going to play a slower pace this year, especially because they don't have the weapons. But if he starts picking up the pace around the second and third quarter, and you got Zion and Steven Adams beating them up, late third quarter to the fourth quarter should be the Bi show. And this is the rock, paper, scissors thing every game. Bi late game should be a monster if Steven Adams and Zion is doing their thing and Lonzo's giving you like the production that we had in the second game. You're going to have to pick your poison. Now, there may be matchups, right, and this is why I say rock, paper, scissors, where the front court is entirely too big and they will stifle Zion. Well, Lonzo shooting in mid-range, along with Bi shooting in mid-range, should be what you go to at that point. What I'm saying is the Pelicans should always have an offensive advantage on the court. And yes, I'm gonna pump up Lonzo right here. I think him showing that mid-range in that second preseason game is what he needed and what the team needed, because now I think there's like, okay, we can go to him. That shot's gonna be there. And with the spacing he's gonna get from the picks that Adams was setting, I think that's something we can get used to for the rest of the season. He should be shooting close to 50% from those, in my estimation. Somewhere in that 47 to 50% range, that should be Lonzo's mid range off the pick and roll all year. So I'm expecting the first 6 minutes of the game to be sloppy. Nerves, jitters, all that. Probably less so from the Toronto Raptors because they've been together longer and they have chemistry. And I would argue Nick Nurse, as of right now, is a better coach because he's been coaching. He has a history. He's a championship coach. Stan hasn't coached in a while, so he's going to have to get used to that part of it. Um, I imagine the game to get a little chippy in the beginning, and I think the Pels are going to slow it down and get into their rhythm. And again, if they go to Lonzo early, if Lonzo takes like 3 or 4 or 5 shots within like the first couple minutes, watch that. Depending on how effective those shots is and where they come from, is going to dictate a lot. I hope he's not relying on the three too much. If he's making a three, great. But I hope he's taking advantage of that mid range. I told you guys that mid range is going to be so important. That shot is going to be there all freaking year. Even when they try to take it away, he's still going to get that shot. And if they do take it away, he can pass. He's gonna be huge for them. He's gonna be huge for them. And this is one of those matchups where they don't have Drew, they still have Bledsoe. Bledsoe can attack the basket. Baines isn't going to offer much resistance. He's going to be able to get to the basket at will. Bi and Zion, all the same. Lonzo should be able to too. But that it's rock paper scissors. Pick how you're going to die. That should be the name of the game for the Pels against the Raptors. So let's just talk about a scenario where Zion's having an off night. Okay, he should still be trying to get to the rim. He should be trying to get to the free throws, beat them up, pound them away, demoralize them. That stuff is going to help. Again, I think Bi is inevitably the closer. That's his role on the team. Yes, it's important for him to get going early, but I think his role on the team is to allow Steven Adams and Zion to beat up teams. Let them just grind them down. And then when they're fatigued, late game, Bi's just gonna beat them. Like take your time, let the game come to you. That's how I would coach Bi. Look, teams know you're good. You're not gonna get the jump on anybody this year. Play your game. If they give you the mid range, take the mid range. If they give you the three, take the three. If you can attack the basket and they give you the basket, take the basket. But don't overthink it. Let the game come to you. And in the late game situations, like let Zion carry the bulk of the weight offensively. Let him get going. Let Lonzo get going. When those two guys are working seamlessly together, they're going to make the game. They're going to shift the field of play for you. They're going to open up lanes for you to do your work. Your job as BI should be first thinking, okay, how can I make Zion and Lonzo better? If I can make those two better in the early stages of the game, they're going to carry me in the late game. Even the days when I have bad games, I should still be looking to empower them. Let's see, my son is going off in the background. He's playing. I think he's playing Fortnite right now. You know how that game is. Those kids love that shit. But I apologize for that. But that's the mentality that Bi should have this year. Hey, I got Zion, who's a tank, and I got Lonzo, my boy, and Lonzo can hit his shots. Let me get them guys going early in the game. You don't mean I don't take shots. I need to get myself in rhythm too. But if Zion and Lonzo both have 11 shot attempts by the first half, and all I got is like 5 or 6, I'm good. Because the second half, I'm going to be taking a lot more bulk of the shots, especially in the late game, to close this out. Let my boys get going early. I need to find my rhythm. When they're Once they've established the game and set the tone, I come in and I close the deal. And I'm gonna get my 25 to 30 points a night. And Zion's gonna get his points and Lonzo's gonna get his points and get the bag. And that's how we fit together on this team. No ego. That should be the name of the game. Lonzo's whole idea should be, look, I'm a passer, obviously, but I need to get the best out of them. And for me to get the best out of them, like I told you, he has to draw threat. Lonzo should be thinking, okay, every time I step on the court, I need to draw threat. I need to be an offensive weapon. Let me come out there, hit my mid ranges. Okay. Force them to have to adapt to me. Okay. When they start hitting mid ranges, step back off the dribble, 3 pointer. Okay. When they start trying to hedge, okay, attack the basket. And when that big comes up to play me, dump off past the Zion or Steven Adams. Let me pick my spots on the court to attack. Take what they're gonna give me. I know when to back off. I know when to empower Bi. Like, okay, it's your turn. You need to get your shots going. You need to get in a rhythm. I know when to feed them. I know when to feed Zion. I know when I'm drawing a double team. I know either Josh Hart is open here, Bi's open here, or I got JJ over here. I'm a smart guy. I know how to use my weapons. My main asset right now is my IQ. It's not the passing. It's not the scoring. I have to do my job so that everybody else can do their job better. So if they're gonna give me mid range, I'm gonna take it. If they're gonna give me the rack, I'm gonna take it. If they're gonna give me the three, I'm gonna take it. What I want to emphasize is inside the paint. I want to draw them in so that I can get the space for the other guys. Once he's done that, Zion already knows. Look, I'm the go-to guy. I'm the number one option. My job is to set the tone on the inside. I'm going to be physical. I'm going to wear these guys down. I am going to set picks for both of those guys, so if they need to get open, they can get open, and I know that they can feed me for the passes if need be. But I'm going to carry the game for the team the first 3 quarters. My job is to carry the game, and even in the fourth quarter, if once I've worn these guys out, I can beat them. I can beat them once they're tired out too. But the main thing is, when we're playing the better teams, I definitely need Bi. I need Zoe. I need at least one of those guys. So for them to have their best game, no matter whether my shot is going into the bucket or if I'm going against the trees, I have to keep physically attacking these guys. That should be their mindset the entire season, no matter who they're playing. Bi should know that he has to close the game. One of those guys at all times needs to be ready to close the game. Okay? And it's gonna be Bi. Bi has the greatest. He's got the best skill set as far as attacking all over the court. He's going to be your closer, and so he needs to know when you're like, okay, I'll give y'all this example: LeBron and AD. LeBron will set the tone early. He'll get a couple shots to get himself in rhythm, and then he'll feed AD. He'll feed AD, and he'll based on the matchup, he'll figure out who the third person is on the team, or they'll carry. So he's like, okay, if me and AD are going, nobody can defend our pick and roll. One, we're not going to overuse it though right now. We're going to save it for the late game. If I get AD going and I see AD can hit all over the court, good. AD can close out the game for us. My job is to draw the threat and set the tone early and make it easier on everybody else that has to shoot the threes. So, Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi carried the game for them in the first half of their game yesterday. And then what? Paul George kind of took over in the third and the rest of the game. You know, but he had to get going early. He needs to set the tone early. Again, Zion and Lonzo are going to have to set the tone early for the team. Bi has to be comfortable knowing, okay, look, I don't need to get all the shots early. If I'm going early, cool, feed me the ball, I'll do me. And we can switch roles. But he has to understand the game. The game for me is to take what the defense gives me and close the game out. I love Bi closing out the games last year. Utah, we all remember those shots. We remember that shot when he came off the side. Lonzo fed him. He went off the side, and I can't remember who he shot it over. And then he was like, "Do your thing, Bi. Do your thing, Bi." We want more of that. We know that that's in him. And Stan and Zoe and the rest of the team have to empower him. He has to understand that. But to do that, like Jordan learned, you can't. One man isn't an island. You can't go out there and try to get 40, 50 points a night. You have to make your teammates work for you. And so with this matchup with Toronto, and I know I kind of went off talking about the Pels here, but I want to bring it back to the matchup. Bi has to understand. Okay, if they're gonna put Fred or Lowry on me, I'm gonna eat them. I'm gonna eat them all game. You know, like small guards, they're gonna get destroyed. If you got I expect them again. Teams that the Pels should be matching up pretty well against. Freaking Portland, Toronto, they like these are teams they should be feasting on. Memphis, the small guards, like pick and roll. Oh yeah, Zion. Like what can they do against them? What can they do against Bi? They got too much size. Lonzo should be able to rise up. There's nothing these guys should be able to do to stop them. So they should go out there and handle business. This should be the expectation every night. Pick your poison. Two of those guys should be going off every night. Period. Period. Again, I don't necessarily need to see Lonzo go hit the free throw line a ton tonight, but I need to see him make the smart read, and I need to see him try to initiate the game from the mid range. I need him to start getting comfortable. I want him to play more inside than out. I want him to eventually get to the out, but establish that mid range. Like, look, this is going to be my go to shot this year. I'm going to take these twos, and you guys are going to have to defend it. Make sure the team scout that. Make sure that that's in their scout report. Lonzo is effective from the mid range. Try to keep him at the 3-point line. Okay? Make them play the defense on you. And again, I told you guys in my videos previous. That's going to determine, like him taking those mid ranges in practice this off season. We're going to see that pay dividends. But he's got to do the work. Let me take these. Even if they're going to try to contest me, let me show them I'm going to take them. Make them respect you. Zion, do your job, man. You're strong. Beat them up. Don't play pussy. Don't get out there and I know you're smart and you're gonna make the right read. I get it. But also understand you are a superstar level player. That's why you were chosen. You are the chosen one for the Pelicans. Go out there and play like it. Beat them guys up. Even your numbers, you're gonna get your numbers. You should know that. Bi's gonna get his numbers. You should know that. Lonzo should get his numbers. Your job is to carry the team the first 3 quarters. And yes, there'll be some nights when that switches and Bi carry and Zion will close. As the two best players on the team, you guys should understand that. Like, if I'm sitting there, if I'm either one of them, hey man, me and you gonna play this no ego. We already know we the two best players. We the two best offensively gifted. Let me use my game to help you out, man. Where do you want the ball? How can I better help you get to your positions? That should be the conversation those two have all game. And Lonzo should facilitate that. Hey, this is what we're running. Okay, let me hit you here. All right, we know the options. We know how to play off each other. Let me do my job as the point guard. Yeah, I'm gonna take a couple shots probably before you Bi. No disrespect. Let me get going, get my rhythm set, so I can help you out late game. Lonzo should be. And I told people his skill set is built to be like the ultimate like cover guy. He will cover whatever the team needs at the moment. If they need defense, he can do it. If they need rebounding, he can crash the boards. If they need passing and playmaking, he should be able to do that. If they need scoring, he should be able to do that at any level. He don't need to be a guy that gets 25 a night. That's not what he needs. His job should be like, okay, he's the jack of all trades. He don't necessarily need to be the master in it, even though he'll be the master passer. But his thing is, I can feel any need for any game. And so whatever those two don't have that night, I can give it. That's what he should be looking at. He's not just a facilitator as far as passing. He's a facilitator for the game overall. And that includes defense and rebounding and scoring. So my synopsis of the game is I think they're gonna beat Toronto. Um, I don't want to necessarily give a number, but I would imagine 98 to 111, something like that. If everything goes as planned, uh, I want to give respect to the Raptors because they're a good team. Championship battle tested, the vets. You know, I'm not gonna sleep on them or the fact that they could take the Pelicans out of their game. And this is the first game together. Understand, I get it. But if everything plays well and they play without ego and everybody falls into place, I don't think there's a reason why Zion and Bi shouldn't have like 27, 26, or 22, 28 by the end of the night. And Lonzo have like 15, 17, 16, somewhere in there. And everybody else falls in place. JJ go gets his 12, 13, 14. Josh Hart go give you like 9 and 9. We know the stat lines that these guys typically get, okay? So this should be a shocker. What I'm looking for tonight, and put this to the side. What I'm looking for is overall effectiveness. How does the team play together? How do they close the game? How do they play when they're up? How do they play when they're down? And how they execute. You know, these are the things I'm looking for. Motor, because they sometimes they played lethargic last year. I'm looking for these guys to come in and see what kind of impact they're going to make on the game, and I'm going to look at Stan. They played well in the preseason. That's great, but this is the regular season. The games matter, and there's 10 less games. They matter even more. Each individual game matters more. So I'm going to be looking at pick and roll. Is Jackson Hayes, when he coming off the bench, setting effective picks? They mentioned his motor. I'm looking to see that. Nikhil Alexander Walker, is he making smart, shots? Is he taking appropriate shots? I'm looking to see how they played last year versus how they play now. I'm looking at defense because that's what Stan is coaching them for, is defense. If they have some offensive lags, I get it. That's a part of the game. But I'm going to trust that Lonzo is going to IQ them this season. I'm putting the onus on this. If they're not getting shots because they're playing too much of some way, I'm looking at him to be the leader. Give me the ball. Okay, we're running horns. We're running floppy. We're running triangle offense. We're changing the pace of the game. I'm adjusting. Okay, let me get the ball. Let me take some shots here to open up. So, I'm looking at Lonzo to make those decisions. He has to be the control tower. Okay. I'm also looking for BI to have a championship mentality. I'm looking for BI to sit there and say, okay, look, give me the goddamn ball. Everybody get out the way when it's time. And I'm looking for the team to defer to him to do that because that's his role. I'm looking for Zion to be able to do the same thing, but I'm also looking at Zion to be flexible. Zion has to be willing to allow BI the space to do his thing, and he also has to be willing to allow Lonzo to take the burden off of him. These guys have the potential to be amazing. They have the potential to be amazing. But are they willing to do the things necessary to win? We're going to have to see that as the season plays out. It starts tonight. So it's your boy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry about my son in the background doing his thing. But hey, he likes to play his video games like I do. But y'all have a good day. I hope we get a W tonight so I can sit back here and chop it up with y'all and be able to point out some things in the game that maybe you guys missed. So I'll see y'all later. Peace. Oh, wait. There's one more thing I want to say. So, and this is about Lonzo. I missed this, and I don't know how I missed this. They ran an OTA for Lonzo in the preseason the other night. So they ran elevator screen for Lonzo. Lonzo came midcourt. Beyond Zion set the elevator. They closed the screen, and he got the three. It was in one of the highlights. I was surprised to see that. And I know this video is 28 minutes long. Y'all forgive me. Y'all know I don't necessarily want to make 30-minute videos unless you guys want it. But let me talk about this because I forgot to mention it. The fact that they ran an OTA for Lonzo. Think about this. How do any of you guys remember them running OTAs and those are basically out of timeout plays? Do y'all remember them running something for Lonzo last year under Gentry? I could be wrong, and I know he took some shots, but I don't think they ran something specifically for Lonzo last year. Think about this. They ran a play to get Lonzo an open look. Guys, think about this. They ran a play to get Lonzo an open look in preseason. Like, Lonzo, the player, 10 points a game, Mr. Triple Single. You guys know the insults they gave Lonzo. They ran a play for him out of timeout to get him an open look. The first look. Do I really need to say this? I'm going to keep my mouth shut. If need be, I'll make an entirely other video talking about this. But I just want to put this out there. Go look at that play. It's in the highlights when he came. It was a. If you don't know what the play is, I'll put a link so you will see it out. If I need to, I'll give you a timestamp. Go look at it. They ran an OTA for Lonzo, and I'm trying to remember if Bi and Zion were on the court. No, Zion I know was on the court because he was a part. He was a part of the screen. He was part of the elevator. I can't remember if Bi was. They ran a play to get Lonzo an open look. Now I'm over 30 minutes. It's ridiculous. And see, that's my son needs me. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.